Personally, honestly. Oh, so.
Even Tony won't get out.
It's been truly lovely, busy few weeks since I last spoke to you. I started off with an event that was very expensive for Paul, involving handbags. Handbags. We went to Elvis and Cressy workshops in Painters Worcester, where they're totally self-sufficient, and they make handbags and all sorts of things out of fire hose, which is and recyclable materials. So it was very good, but very costly for poor old Paul because I had to go home with a handbag. I've visited the lovely residents of LV Care Home on Armed Forces Day, and was made very, very welcome, and they had some lovely entertainment. I had a fabulous evening at Highstead Girls' School, end of term show, Legally Blonde. Very fitting as the Mary's bottle blonde, and she loves pink. Okay, and if you know the stage show, you'll realise why I said that. I attended Gordon Fate as a guest for the Kent Wildlife Rescue Service, and we raised an amazing £370, and I got my fox cuddles from Hazel. As always, I had a totally inspiring evening with Challenger Troop, one of my charities, giving young people their awards and trophies for their achievements. A few weeks ago, starting the inter-primary 2K run at Tunstall Playing Fields, and giving out prizes to shields and medals, and Tunstall School won, which is great because that's my village. Spent 2 days at the end of term events held at Kite College on Neuralink. Some good moments when staff got very emotional saying goodbye to their leaders, and I certainly needed a mascara alert for that. But these were people that really are learning almost apprentice-based skills like bricklaying and motor mechanics, and girls from nails and beauty. With quite challenging learning difficulties on the spectrum. Again, as guests of the Cope Wildlife Rescue Service, raising more money in funds, I'm not sure how much, but also got persuaded by the event organiser to lead the parade from Town Centre Clock back to Tesco's, where the event was being held. And also, I think I might be the first mayor to have arrived at the event with my consort chauffeuring me. And we had a passenger, the fox, Hazel, and I was carrying her into the event, so I was getting very strange looks. The Endangered Species exhibition at Swale Media and Arts Centre in our High Street. And I was so pleased to announce that the large animal exhibits, if you do walk past them next week, please go in and have a look. It's amazing. The large exhibits that we have in the exhibition, including the tree, will be travelling to Canterbury Cathedral for an exhibition there. We'll have an ecological exhibition. And they were done by all our local school children in workshops. So it's, our children's work are going to be in Canterbury Cathedral. So I think that's a really lovely thing. We ended last week by attending the Lord Lieutenant Kent's garden party, Lady Cochrane, enabling us to meet other mayors and share our aspirations for our mayoral years. I proudly opened Dockland Yard Church and Sheerness to the public, and that was really lovely. A building that's really worth a visit. If you've not seen what's happened after the renovations, it's well worth a visit. A lovely little tea shop there. We moved into Faversham, where I opened a sensory room for severely disabled adults at the Lady Dane Care Home, meeting the residents and their families and giving out achievement certificates to the residents. Lots of smiles and fun had by all. In the evening, we attended a high tea in aid of the Faversham Carnival Princess's Court. My mayor welcome service, a celebration of community and charity in Swale at St Michael's Church on Sunday. It was a lovely service celebrating love and caring in the community, our community. Attended by my three charities who spoke very powerful words about the challenge which we're all facing in our communities and what the charities are actually facing. It was very powerful, wasn't it, Tim? It really said everything we needed to say about what's out of the pandemic and moving on. It was. So I'd like to thank Reverend David Ridley and Reverend Colin Brooks for such a beautiful service, a moving service. This was followed by the dedication of the newly renovated wall outside the church. So very lovely to see representatives from the company, which I'm sure I invited, actually there. So they got a rapturous round of applause from everyone that was there as a massive thank you to us as a community. That was it. Next item, agenda. Public, no questions have been submitted by the public. Questions submitted by members. 4 questions have been received from the members. Ask each member to ask their question in turn and then invite the councillor of relevant service to respond. And then I will ask the member if they have a supplementary question. So can I call Councillor Chris Williams to ask their question, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is a question to the leader. What had his letter to KCC regarding the closure of Faversham Tip? What else does he think Swarthmore Council can do to encourage KCC to change their mind and keep Faversham Tip open and running? Thank you.
That's Gibson.
I thought it was going to be a silent response for a moment. I can confirm that at the time of writing, I have not received a response from Councillor Goff at KCC. The Environment Committee discussed the issue briefly at their last meeting and agreed for the Chair, Councillor Richard Lehman, to write to KCC's Cabinet Member for Environment. This letter has been sent, but has also currently not been responded to. There have been 2 reports to KCC's committee so far, which have outlined a number of options. The latest report has removed the potential impact of Sheerness and Sittingbourne household waste recycling centres, but remains with a Faversham closure in all options. Having expressed our opposition publicly, and to those making decisions too, we feel it is best to await the detail of the formal consultation, which we expect in the coming weeks. In terms of what Moss Swarthmore Council can do to assist, we will continue to look at ways in which we can support the campaign to oppose a closure, and of course ensure engagement in the KCC consultation process. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Councillor Williams, have you any supplementary question?
Thank you for the answer to the supplementary question.
Thank you, Councillor Williams. Councillor Ben Martin would like to ask you a question.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is also for the leader, the first one. Recently revealed that the Secretary of State for Levelling Up Housing in Communities, the Right Honourable Michael Gove MP, has returned £1.9 billion of funding meant to tackle the housing crisis in England to the Treasury, due to struggling to find projects to spend it on. Inverted commas for that. There are 295 district and responsible for housing. Had the 1.9 billion been shared out equally between those local housing authorities, each would have received just shy of £6.5 billion. Would have been sufficient to purchase 20 to 50 houses in Swale, 20 to 50 homes in Swale, based on current average prices across the borough. Does the leader agree with me that the decision to return the funds was at best short-sighted, and that such funding for affordable homes in this borough would have not only been welcomed, but would have had a significant benefit for our residents?
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Councillor Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Martin, for that question. With the country in a housing crisis and more families find themselves unable to secure affordable and permanent accommodation, we and the government should be doing everything we can to maximise affordable housing delivery. I personally would have absolutely welcomed the funding in the borough, and it's disappointing to see this level of much needed investment being returned to the Treasury. This demonstrates that the mechanisms and the criteria that the government have attached to this funding are not fit for purpose. Last week, the government launched a call for evidence to gather views and experiences of working with Homes England. And you won't be surprised to hear that I have asked officers to respond, highlighting their issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Councillor Martin, have you a supplementary?
I do indeed. Since submitting this question, it has further been revealed that homelessness in this country is vastly on the increase. The committee that response to the consultation from officers is robust. Funds that are actually in.
Councillor Gibson.
Assurance, Councillor Martin, that we certainly will ensure that we put forward a robust response. Thank you.
Councillor Gibson. Councillor Ben Martin again, you've got another question.
Madam Mayor, this time it's for the Chair of the Housing and Health Committee. At the meeting of the Housing and Health Committee held on January the 17th, the committee approved the use of £11 million to purchase up to 50 homes for use as temporary accommodation, with 4 of those properties to be used as part of the Ukrainian resettlement scheme and for a number of large properties to be used as part of the bridging programme for refugees. Could the Chair of the Housing and Health Committee provide a brief update on the progress of the bid for government funding that formed part of that decision, and on the purchase of homes for use as temporary accommodation within the borough, particularly if any properties have yet been purchased, and if so, how many and what size?
Councillor Martin. Councillor Angela Harrison, would you like to reply?
As the decision taken at January committee, officers have been putting the foundations of the project and scheme in place. We are yet to purchase any properties, as we are assessing properties available and will make appropriate purchases when the right property. In terms of the bridging scheme, we are working with a local registered provider on a new build site. There have been some delays on site, but the build is progressing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harrison. Councillor Martin, have you a supplementary?
I do. I'll try and make it so that you can have as brief an answer as possible, Councillor Harrison. I understand that, again, since that decision was taken back in January, the government have once again tried moving the goalposts and proposed a sweetheart deal to a commercial entity. Would you care to add any comment whether or not it may impact upon our ability to deliver back in January?
Councillor Martin. Councillor Harrison.
Well, if we're talking about Clear Springs, Madam Mayor, this isn't going to save my voice because I am so angry about this. You know, we are struggling to provide homes, permanent and temporary, for the people in this borough and for the people which the government are asking us to accommodate. Point out that they're employed a company who are giving sweeteners to landlords, like £2,000 or so up front, and let's, you know, can we rent your property? Here's £2,000. And by the way, how much do you want for the rent? Criminal. It takes me back to when the benefit cap first came in and the London Borough residents who needed homes to come down to us and doing exactly the same thing to the landlords, giving them a sweetener and paying whatever it was, because it was done higher, lower. And I think we need to all act with a bit of honesty here. There is a problem. Now let's not try. We've sorted our bit out. You've got a bigger bit, and you've got a bigger bit. We really all need to sit down and look at this problem together. That'd be. I hope that's okay, Councillor.
Thanks, Councillor Harrison. Councillor Martin. Councillor Martin, would you like to ask your question, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Swale Borough, this is a question for the Chair of the Regeneration and Property Committee. Swale Borough Council Seafront Services has been running a memorial bench scheme along the seafront for many years now. In 2017, it was decided that no more benches would be allowed in Minster. My resident who contacted me wishes to commemorate his late wife, who died at the age of just 42 years old. Minster Beach, east of the beach huts, was a place where he, his wife and young family regularly visited, and is a place where he feels he can be best remembered. Would the chairman of the Regeneration and Property Committee agree to bringing the 2017 decision back to the committee for review?
Councillor Whiting, Councillor Bonnet.
Thank you very much, Councillor Whiting, for your question. Following a consultation in 2014 and a consensus that was supported that the number of benches be capped, and the scheme was finally closed, as you said, in 2017 by the previous administration. There are currently 150 benches in a fairly short space along the seafront at Minster Leys, from the White House to the end of Seathorpe car park. Particularly in the area of the promenade in front of the beach huts, the benches are very close together. They generate very different views from the public, with some liking the idea, offering memorials, and others feeling that too many impact the visual appearance and the feel of the area. The existing benches do create an ongoing liability for the council in terms of cleansing, repairing and replacing if subject to vandalism. The impact is mitigated somewhat by selecting hard-wearing benches and suitable for the location, but it remains a consideration. The scheme is still available at other locations, and the scheme remains open along Sheerness seafront, where is currently a substantial amount of space for more memorial benches, whilst balancing the need of all the beach users there, from Garrison Point through to Barton's Point entrance. And this area continues to remain popular with applicants. So in conclusion, yes, I am happy for the issue to be debated at the Regeneration and Property Committee.
Thank you, Councillor Bonnet. Councillor Whiting, have you supplement?
I only sound grateful to the chairman for what she said, and I look forward to the debate. Thank you.
Whiting.